Hey, I'm Rick McQuarrie with Bustin' Free. Got a YouTube channel now, so my daughter-in-law says I need to get something on it. So this is my bus. The bus is also called Bustin' Free. We call him Buster for short. We painted it. It's Jade Stone from Sherwood-Williams. We painted it back in June. We've had the bus about 9 months now. So one thing I didn't like that it didn't have any ground clearance. So I cut off about a foot right here of metal and then added back this step so my wife could still get in and out of the bus easily. But that'll keep me from getting stuck because this bus is going to be not on the pavement all the time, obviously. I've got my dryer vent here. We have a washer dryer combo that's vented. The vented ones dry a lot quicker. That's why I wanted to have a vented one. I've got a 20 amp outside breaker here, GFI protected. On the back of it, we added a 5-foot rear porch, or I'm going to call it a toy hauler. It fits my Yamaha 700 four-wheeler perfectly. When I did that, I had to extend my tailpipe because if the vehicle regens, it'll burn the thing off the back of here because a lot of very high temperatures are coming out the back. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's close to 1,000 degrees, I've been told. These are my ramps that I'll load my four-wheeler with, but I also use them to enter and exit the bus. So depending on where it's at, they're slip proof. Haven't fell down yet. Got our plates in Vermont. I forget half the time, but anyway, got our plates in Vermont. If you don't know about that loophole, check that out. It's pretty cool. I have 60 amp shore power. Although right now, because I had to pull it from the backyard to the side of the house because of the mud, I'm now hooked up on 120 volts and not 240, so I can only use half of my breaker box. What I did today was I put in my fill tanks for my water, and I put in my city water tap, and when we get around inside, you'll see how that works. Yesterday, I put my spigot in. The spigot is not a freeze-proof spigot, but I have a shutoff valve inside where it will then drain downhill, so in the wintertime there'll be no water near here. The rest of this is pretty normal. I have a canoe rack on the top of it. There's also 2 RV air conditioners / heat pumps up there. The heat pumps are awesome because, like right now, the heat pump is keeping me cool, keeping me warm. This morning it was 25 degrees, so I had to also, sorry for the mess, folks. Come in the back door. Oh, also we raised the roof 14 inches. That is why I'm able to stand up in here so easily. This is the bedroom area. The bed is a metal frame that I've welded together. This part will fall over, or will roll over on top of the other half. I have 1 water tank, 45 gallons under here that'll stay in the bus all the time. I have a auxiliary 100-gallon water tank here that will only be hauled when we need extra water. So we'll take this goes underneath the bed also, plumbs into the other system. It just simply refills the 45-gallon tank when it runs low. Have our breaker box here. You know, Jeff Bezos, he's a genius. I don't know where you get these other than Amazon, but it's a 240 breaker coming in, and then it splits. This side of the breaker feeds these 3, this side of the breaker feeds these 3. So right now when I'm hooked up on 120, I have juice to these 3 breakers, which is my rear air conditioner, rear heat pump, and my 20 amp outlets on the wall. My 15 amp outlets are down here, and they are not live right now because I'm only running on 120 volts. But the 120 volts I'm running on will run my refrigerator, lamps, and 1 air conditioner. Shelf up here, this is not going to stay permanent. I put this up here because when you're working in the bus, everything's always in your way, so I just put it up there to put stuff on. When we get ready, we'll take it down. And these are just ISO boards I stuck up there because we're in a cold climate here in Kentucky. I have ISO boards going down the side just to help because I left all the windows in. Single pane windows don't do very well, as we know. Here's where my water comes in. Here's my city water coming in. And then here's my water tanks coming in to fill the tanks. That is a weird, it's not a 1 inch and it's not a 3/4 inch PVC. I'm going to have to go to the RV store and get a special piece of PVC to bring that out of that wall. I went to 3 places today and all of them just said they don't make that, but they have to make it because they sold it to me. So, but anyway, this will hook into a T to fill the bottom tank. The other side of the T will fill the top tank, and this will also be the vents for the tanks. So, I don't know where we're going from here, but this is my little workbench. This is just a dresser we set in here on top of the wheel well. But every flat surface is a workbench. If you're building a bus, you know that. These are those Dominic RV air conditioner heat pumps. I got those years from a guy that took them off of his RV. He took 3 of them off and sold me all 3 of them for $500. I didn't even know they made heat pump air conditioners like that, but I'm so fortunate that I have those. Wish I could think of his name. I'd give him credit for it. That was a very good deal. From here we have our refrigerator. I still haven't built the stand. It goes on a stand to raise it up because it's a little bit on the wheel well. Just the way I had to work out because my vent for my washing machine and dryer was coming out exactly on a post of the bus. So I had to move it back a few inches. That put me on the wheel well. Bathroom area. Well, it's kind of a typical bathroom. It has a full-size shower, 32 by 32. That came from Ace Hardware. It's the only place I could find a 32 by 32 in stock because this was in 2021, which is during COVID. It's hard to get stuff. We have a composting toilet. My composting toilet's a 7-gallon. It goes down all the way to the floor of the bus. I have a spot here to put the shavings. That'll hold a full bale of shavings. This will have a shelf here for my wife's hairdryer and such, and then that's a dedicated circuit for the bathroom. It's not put in yet, of course. This will have curtains that matches the shower curtains, of course. I'm not too worried about the decorations. We'll get that. I have a thing to put the wires up. We have the sink. The water heater will go underneath the sink. So far, I have the water just coming to underneath the sink. I guess we should backtrack and I'll show them the water. This is what I've been doing today. Well, I'm mounting the bed frame right now. That's what I'm doing. But underneath here is all the water. The water comes in, the city water comes in here, goes through a check valve, and goes in underneath the bathroom sink. The 12-volt water pump, the tank, goes down low into the filter, into the pump, into the accumulator, through another check valve. Then after the check valve, I tee off and go to my outside hydrant. Here's the valve I was telling you about earlier. With this shut, no water will get near that outside hydrant, so there's no way it can freeze. If I open this, then I'll have outside water. But in the wintertime, I hope I'm never in freezing weather again, because our plan is to go to Florida as soon as this bus is done. But keep that shut off if I'm in the wintertime in cold weather, and that'll keep it from freezing. I can pull this tank. I have these quick disconnects. If that tank needs to be pulled, it can come out. Also, I have the bottom drain going through the bottom of the bus. This tank has a little recessed area that I cut out of the floor, and then I made my drain cut all the way through the floor of the bus. So anyway, these 2 check valves keep the water from back feeding each other. Goes up underneath the sink. And then this board covers it all up, and this supports the 100-gallon tank that is to be, that will just lay in there, but I'll be able to access that even with the bed bolted to the floor, because the way I beveled this plywood so it'll pick up and slide past itself when I raise up the tank. Then we're coming up to the kitchen area. Just a standard RV stove. Can't remember what it cost, but it's pretty cool. Can't wait to use it. My wife wanted a way to bake cookies, so you got a way to bake cookies. I've got a place here for pots and pans, And that's because you had to have a 3-inch clearance there. There's no sense wasting that space. If you're on a bus, you need every bit you have. All the drawers, they all have the soft close, so they shouldn't open going down the road. If they do, I'll figure that out later. We have a sink that has a little pull down thing. Everybody likes that. Blah, blah, blah. Because it's such a deep sink, I had to split this first drawer to go around the drain. But I still have enough room for my silverware. Right now I'm using it for pipe fittings and PEX fittings and tools, but then I also have the other drawers, and again, they're all the quick close ones. Here's the washer dryer unit we use. This is an Equator brand. It was about $1,500. Got it from Lowe's. Not sure I like Lowe's. It took Lowe's a long time to get this to me. The first one came in damaged. It was about 5 months getting the washer dryer combo that we wanted, and I couldn't do the rest of the plumbing until it was here because I had to know where this kitchen was located. One little tidbit about this kitchen: this is a piece of furniture that can be moved anywhere I want to move it, just by moving the dryer vent out the wall or changing this over to a ventless dryer, which you can do. So it's just a piece of furniture. I've been in the furniture business most of my life. I built this piece of furniture with all used wood. Every piece of it except this piece of backsplash was used. This is an old workbench top that Daniel Derringer gave me. We flipped it over to the better side, cleaned it up, sanded it down. It's a really nice hard rock maple top. These were just old boards we had laying around. Even the plywood was all recycled, every bit of it. So we try to recycle what we can, of course. This is a little pantry area. People like these. I don't know how many canned goods it'll hold, but it also has the same self-closing slides. We get up here, we have the mantle. This is where the TV will reside. TV will be right up here with the VCR. We can hang our stockings here if we want next year. We have a place here for a love seat. It's just going to be a regular love seat out of our house. I have a captain's chair here out of a 2004 Chevrolet pickup truck. What I did, because I cut that step off at the very beginning of the video, I showed you where I cut the step off, I was able to bring this deck out another 9 inches because I don't have as many steps as other buses. That made my area wider for the co-pilot's chair, and that allows us to be able to still use this as a step. You're not immediately stepping down 2 steps. All this has been moved over. I don't know what she's pointing to. Oh, the light switch. This is just going to be a 12-volt kill switch for when we leave. We can turn this off and we know all the lights are off and all the 12-volt stuff is off. I have my little bar area right here. I don't have my 12-volt lighting in yet. That's why we're moving this light around. But well, this is kind of interesting too. My washer dryer, you have to have some way to keep this stuff still. So what I did, I took a piece of 1/2-inch plywood, cut 4 holes that matched the holes, the feet of the washer dryer, and then I ran these straps under it, screwed it to the floor. Inside the floor is actually a piece of 100-foot of PEX that circulates coolant from the engine or from the Webasto heater to heat in the wintertime. But anyway, so I had to put those screw holes exactly in the right spot to not hit my tubing. But then these, once I know 100% that I'm not going to ever move it again, I will take a ratchet these down and crimp them. I've got the crimp tool and all that. I just don't have the ratchet just yet. So, but anyway, I'll secure that in place. I'm going to do the same thing on the refrigerator and the same thing on the chest of drawers back there. It's a little bar area. That's a full-size bar stool. It doesn't slide up too well, but not too bad. This is where you can see where we raised the roof. I don't have this cover put on here yet, but this will just be a cover with doors that open up, and that's actually where I'm going to keep my hiking stuff. I like to hike, and that's plenty of room. I'm still working up in there. We took about, I don't know, 100 pounds of wires out of this bus, so I've got a 4-camera system that I'm going to put back in for driving and for security, but it's going to have when you turn the left signal on, the left camera comes on, takes the whole screen, the right signal does the same thing, the reverse puts the back on, and then when you're just driving down the road, all 4 cameras will be on the screen. The screen will be right here to the left of the driver. And then that will also run 24/7 so that it will be a security system as well. The front-facing camera can also be flipped backwards if you're going out of town or you're going to leave the bus for a little while. You can see what's happening in the bus. I've left a room here for my leather recliner. My wife doesn't like that idea. She says we don't have enough room, but I can take a really good nap in that recliner, and I've left enough room for that recliner and a full-size love seat. Any questions? Leave them below in the comments and I will get back to you. I'm better at checking it than I am putting up new content, and everybody will tell you that. So anyway, busting free in 21 days. So
subscribe to keep up.
Yep. Subscribe to keep up. I guess I need subscribers. So
yeah.
We'll see.